Unit 11 Review, Question 36. Find the square root of each of the following, round to 2 decimal places as needed, and indicate those that are perfect squares and explain why. Okay, so here we're asked to find the square root, and the square root is basically saying what number do I multiply by itself to get the number under the square root sign. Okay, and that sounds like a lot of words, but let's look at this and I think we can make sense of it. So with 100, are there two numbers? Okay, there always are, but we're kind of looking for whole numbers here. What number do I multiply it by itself to get 100? Well, notice 10 times 10, or 10 squared, equals 100. So that means the square root of 100 equals 10. So this is a perfect square. And the reason it's a perfect square is because 10 is a whole number. Let's look at the next one. The square root of 30. So there are two numbers that multiply to whole numbers that equal 30. Well, I know 5 times 5 is 25, so that's too small. 6 times 6 is 36. That's too big. So there's no whole numbers between 5 and 6, so that means this is not a perfect square. So we're going to approximate it on the calculator. So I think on your calculator on the TI, you hit the square root button first. I believe with this one I hit the number and then I take the square root. Right, so square root of 30. And I'm going to round this to 2 decimal places, which would be 5.48. Okay, notice that makes sense. It should be between, since 30 is between 25 and 36, it should be between 5 and 6. Okay. Next, we have the square root of 1. Well, 1 times itself equals 1. Okay. So that means the square root of 1 equals 1. Now, 17. Let's see. 4 times 4 is 16. That's too small. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 is too big, so that means this is not a perfect square. And we will find an approximation on the calculator. So 17, find the square root, is 4.12. Okay, so this was not a perfect square. Nor was this. And we saw that 1 is a perfect square. And because our result 1, not the original 1, our result 1 is a whole number.